Students, this is class 9, subject science, lecture 1. In this module, we will study chapter 2, that is matter around us pure? In the previous chapter, we have discussed the classification of matter on the basis of physical state. Matter is classified into three main types, and they are solids, liquids, and gases. But in this chapter, we will be discussing the classification of matter on the basis of chemical composition. Matter is classified into two main types. These are pure substances and mixture. So we shall study what is a pure substance, what is a mixture, and what are the types of mixture. Now, pure substance. What is a pure substance? Have you ever noticed the word pure written on the packs of the consumable items? For a common person, pure means having no adulteration, but when a scientist says that something is pure, it means that all the constant particles of that substance are same in their chemical nature. So basically, what is a pure substance? Pure substance is a substance which consists of single type of particles. If we take the example of sugar, sugar is a substance because it contains only one kind of pure matter and its composition is same throughout. Now, a pure substance, it cannot be separated by physical methods. If we take the example of sodium chloride, it cannot be separated by physical processes into its chemical constituents. Here you can see a diagram has been shown of distilled water, where all the constant particles, they are alike. Now, what is a mixture? Mixture. Have you ever seen soil, seawater, minerals? Basically, what are these? These are mixture. So, what is a mixture? Mixture consists of two or more pure substances. For example, dissolved sodium chloride. It is also a mixture. Mixture can be separated into its constituent by physical methods. If we take the example of dissolved sodium chloride, it can be separated from the water by the physical process of evaporation. Here, I have shown a diagram of drinking water where all the constant particles, they are not same, they are not alike. That is a mixture. Now, we will be discussing types of mixture. Depending upon the nature of the component that forms a mixture, we can have different types of mixture. Basically, two types of mixture are present. Number one is homogeneous mixture. Number two is heterogeneous mixture. Now, what are homogeneous and what are heterogeneous mixture? Homo means same and hetero means different. If we dissolve salt in water, you will observe salt completely dissolves in water. So what does it show? It shows that it has a uniform composition throughout its mass, throughout its appearance. Another example we can take of sugar in water. What are these? This is also a homogeneous mixture in which sugar is completely dissolved in water. So, homogeneous mixture, it has a uniform composition. It has no visible boundaries of separation between its various components. There is no separation between the various components in homogeneous mixture. Second is heterogeneous mixture. If we take the example of chalk powder in water, if we dissolve this chalk powder and water, so what will happen? Chalk powder dissolves but not completely in water. It means the composition is not uniform throughout its mass, throughout its appearance. So heterogeneous mixture has a non-uniform composition. Now when you dissolve this, you will observe that there are visible boundaries of separation between the various components. So heterogeneous mixture is composed of visibly different substances that remain physically separated. You can also take the example of mixture of iron fillings and sodium chloride. They also form a heterogeneous mixture. Yes, the most important example you can take a mixture of oil and water. You must have tried at your home. When you dissolve oil in water, what will happen? They form separate layers. So that is also a heterogeneous mixture. Now next topic is, what is a solution? Solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. You might have observed various types of solutions in your daily life. For example, lemonade, soda water. What are these? These are examples of solutions. Now, a solution, it has a homogeneity at the particular level. For example, lemonade. It tastes the same throughout. This shows that the particles of the sugar or salt are evenly distributed in the solution. Now, a solution has two components basically, and what are these components? Solvent and solute. These are the two components of solution. Now, what is solute and what is solvent? The component of the solution that dissolves the other component in it, that is called as solvent. It is generally present in the larger amount, whereas the component of the solution that is dissolved in the solvent, that is called as solute. Generally, solute is present in smaller amount as compared to solvent. If we take the example of a solution of salt in water, in this example, what we will see? Salt. It is solute and water is acting as a solvent here. Solution of sugar in water. Here, sugar is a solute because that is dissolved in a solvent, and water is a solvent because it is the liquid. It is that part of the solution, that component of the solution in which the solute is dissolved. So here sugar is solute, water is solvent. One more example you can take of tincture of iodine. What is tincture of iodine? It is a solution of iodine in a alcohol. This iodine that is solid as a solute, and the alcohol which is a liquid, it acts as a solvent. Now, what are the properties of a solution? Or we can say what are the characteristics of a solution. A solution is a homogeneous mixture that I already discussed now. These particles of the solution, they are smaller than 1 nanometer. What is 1 nanometer? 10 raised to minus 9 meter in diameter. Since they are very small, they cannot be seen with naked eyes. Now, because of very small particle size, they do not scatter a beam of light passing through the solution. These solute particles, what is solute? Solute is that component of the solution that dissolves, that is dissolved in the solvent. So these solute particles, it cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. It means the solution is stable because these solute particles, they do not settle down when the solution is left undisturbed. Now, we will study various types of solution. There are various types of solution like aqueous solution, saturated solution, unsaturated solution. Now, we will discuss one by one. Number one, what is a saturated solution? Saturated solution means when no more amount of solute can be dissolved in a solution at a particular temperature. For example, if we take sugar and we dissolve in 10 ml of water, what you will observe that at a particular temperature, at a particular point, no more amount of sugar, it can be dissolved in that 10 ml of water. So what does it mean? That saturation level has been achieved. So that is a saturated solution in which no more amount of solute can be dissolved in a solution at a particular temperature. Okay, now what is unsaturated solution? Unsaturated means when the amount of solute present in a solution is less than the saturation level. It means if we took the example of sugar in water, if we can add more amount of sugar in that 10 ml of water, it means that saturation level has not been achieved yet. It means that is unsaturated solution, where the saturation is not achieved, where we can add more amount of solute in that solution. So, are you clear with these two terms, saturated and unsaturated solution? There is also one more term, aqueous solution. Aqueous. What do you mean by aqueous? Aqueous means when a solution is prepared in water. For example, we dissolve sugar in water. So what do we say? It is an aqueous solution of sugar. Aqueous, wherever the word aqueous comes, means there is water, there is a liquid. means water is acting as a solvent. Now there is one more term, that is solubility. First of all, we need to understand this term. What is solubility? Solubility means it is the number of grams of solute that can be dissolved in 100 grams of solvent at a given temperature to make a saturated solution. Now we can also say the amount of solute present in the saturated solution at that temperature, that is called at its solubility. It means how much amount of solute it dissolved in 100 gram of solvent at that temperature to achieve that saturation level, that is called as solubility. Now next topic is concentration of solution. We need to understand this term. What do you mean by concentration? Concentration means amount. And for what amount, for what purpose, for which you are taking amount? Relative amount of solute as well as solvent present in a solution. Okay, one more thing. Solute plus solvent, that is equal to solution. How to find a solution? Solute, amount of solute plus amount of solvent. That makes a solution. So here what is concentration of solution? It is a relative amount of solute and relative amount of solvent present in a solution. It means how much amount of solute and how much amount of solvent is present in a solution. That gives the concentration of a given solution. Now there are various ways of expressing the concentration of the solution, but here we will be studying only two methods. Number one, mass by mass percentage of a solution. Number two, mass by volume percentage of a solution. Now number one, mass by mass percentage of a solution. That is given by mass of solute divided by mass of solution into 100. If a given in a given example, it is given mass of solute is given and mass of solvent is given. Mass of solvent plus mass of solute, that is equal to mass of solution. So now you know mass of solute, you know mass of solution. So you can get the mass by mass percentage of the solution by applying this formula. Mass of solution you know, mass of solute plus mass of solvent. Now second method is mass by volume percentage of a solution, means mass of solute. Pay attention, I am considering upon mass of solute divided by volume of solution into 100. Mass of solute is given and volume of solution is, what is volume of solution? Volume of solute plus volume of solvent, that is equal to volume of solution. Now if both the terms are given, you can calculate the mass by volume percentage of a solution by this formula. So this ends for today's lecture.